Hello, and welcome to the Human Impact Theory podcast. My name is Jacqueline Way, and I'm the founder of 365 Give and your host for the show. This podcast was created for a very simple reason, and it's really to share the good in the world. It's what we do at 365 Give to help you look at the world and your life from a different angle, through a different lens. We will help you understand how your actions, your words, even your thoughts can create a positive impact on our world and how it spreads to everyone around you. Welcome to my home. We aren't fancy, but this comes from our hearts, and we're hoping it'll touch yours. And I'm so excited about today's conversation. In this episode of the Human Impact Theory, we are going to explore the AI edge and how to transform your media consumption for social good. AI is a conversation around everything right now, and we need to understand that our actions on our computers, on our phones, everything that we're doing is being affected by AI, how we're feeding the system, and how we can actually, instead of being used by social media and AI, we can use it for social good. So our guest today is Mikkel. He's the founder of Bright Vibes Media. He is fresh off his TEDx talk, How a Healthy Media Diet Transforms Our Life. And I wanted to talk to him about this right away. Mikkel is literally the visionary behind Bright Vibes Media. And if you haven't seen it, you need to go to it right away. There's a link in the description below. So please go check them out. They are a platform that for over a decade now, they literally amplify and share inspiring stories of positive change, positive news from all over the world. We've been blessed that 365 Give is on that platform. They've shared our own story. But Mikkel has this deep expertise in digital marketing and content creation, along with the social enterprise he's created. And he's committed to using the power of storytelling to uplift and unite communities. His mission through Bright Vibes Media, get this, everyone, is to spread messages of kindness, compassion, create social impact, and inspire others to do the same. Literally take action with every single story he shares. They have had billions. Yes, I said billions of views on their content that have literally influenced change in our world. And you're going to hear those stories today. So you don't want to miss them. Mikkel is going to share with us how we can harness the power of AI and social media so that we can take control of our own consumption for the well-being of ourselves and the world around us. We're going to take a look at how we can choose today to drive positive change, to foster compassion, foster kindness, and literally create social impact through our own social media use that's going to impact the world around us as well. So just a reminder before we get started, if you want to support the work that we do at 365 Give, please subscribe below, like, comment. We want to hear from you. We value your comments. We value your support. And this is the way you can do your 365 Give today. So let's get right into it and start on with the show. Mikkel, welcome to the Human Impact Theory. I'm so excited to have you here today. Thank you so much, my friend, for coming and joining us.
Jacqueline, it's an absolute honor and a pleasure. Of course, you always make my day brighter. So thank you for taking the time and having me on your show.
Well, thank you. And, we've already done the introduction. Everyone knows who you are. You're literally famous in the social media world for the work that you've been doing for over a decade now. I found your work literally when I was starting 365 Give as well. And you have always been this bright, shining light of what social media and the power of social good can actually do for the world, which has been absolutely amazing. So I want to start off the show with really talking about what insights you've gained from Bright Vibes Media. What are we looking at in the way people are consuming media on social platforms today? And how can we gauge this? We've got a pretty big election going on in the United States right now, which I got to
I
tell you,
know.
it's like, and I'm not from the States, but we're all watching. And the interesting negativity that's coming out of that fascinates me. And
Mm,
so I want to talk about the other side of this and what you've gained through
yes.
Bright Vibes and your knowledge and how
Yeah.
people are consuming.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. No, I think one of the biggest insights that I got basically was starting Bright Vibes for me was basically like a test because I assumed that people do not just want to see polarizing content or violence and stuff that makes you angry, but stuff that actually makes you feel better. And from when I started Bright Vibes 10 years ago, there was an assumption because nobody else was doing it, I think, not that I know of. So I was one of the first, and I believe that by sharing these contagiously inspiring stories, mainly video stories, where we really try to touch people's hearts, so people open up their heads to new ideas, and then we give them suggestions of what they can now do after watching that video, so they can get their hands moving, heart, head, hands. That was this formula,
Amazing.
and actually, it works. We just found out that it works. It's a lot of work. It's harder. You have to work a lot harder if you want to become successful in amplifying the good than in becoming successful, let's say, but it depends on what you call successful in amplifying the bad. Um, the thing is that we have this natural tendency to pay more attention to what is negative, and that
Mm.
still stems from hundreds of thousands of years ago. It helped us in, when we were still at this sort of like reptile brain, and there might have been danger, and you needed to know about this. Well, for us in the Western world, at least, for the fortunate people like ourselves, that is no longer necessary, but it still triggers our brain when we hear something negative. So we have to fight against that, and we have to, in that sense, also fight against these algorithms. It's harder work, but it's worth it, and it actually works, and it's incredibly rewarding to do. That I can tell you, and it is possible with a relatively small team, but with a huge ambition and drive to have a very big positive impact.
So let's talk about that impact a little bit, just for
Mhm.
people out there that I don't know how you couldn't find Bright Vibes, but if you haven't, you're going
There
to
are still
today.
people,
There are the few people in the world that may not have found you yet, but they're going to today. And so,
yes,
Mikael, tell us about some of that social impact, because the problem is right now is everybody looks at numbers, right? What are your numbers? How
yes,
many likes do you
yeah,
get? How many views do you get? So
yeah,
just share with the audience for
yeah.
some comparison.
Well,
What are our
numbers.
views? Let's talk
I mean,
numbers.
I can talk about numbers, but actually, those numbers are really completely, like you said. I think they can be completely irrelevant if you look at what impact have these numbers actually had.
Hmm.
It's way better to inspire 1,000 people than to basically infuriate 1 million people, right? So,
I
so
love
in
that.
that sense, I mean, those views, they don't really matter that much. But I do believe that in my case, of course, what we spread, this positivity and inspiration, that it does matter. And yeah, I mean, we started 10 years ago. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that we've had billions of video views.
Wow. Unbelievable.
We've had hundreds of millions of engagements. Yeah, it's been pretty amazing.
That's
We've
incredible.
got
We're
2
talking queen
million.
queen bee numbers when we're talking billions at this point, right? That's
Yeah.
incredible.
It is. It is. It is. It is incredible, and I sometimes still have to pinch myself. Um, but yes, so those numbers are really big. But I'd much rather talk about the impact that we've had.
Yeah, let's do
And
that.
I can talk about that for hours. You can see 3 examples in my TED talk. But do you want to give me an example, or are you like, no, watch the TED talk and find
Well,
out there?
let's perfect. Well, let's move right into that TED Talk, because that's one of
Yeah.
the reasons that I really wanted to talk to you today, because you just did a
Yes.
remarkably impactful TEDx talk just a few months ago. I'm so
Yes.
excited for everyone to see this TEDx talk. And the title of it is How a Healthy Media Diet
There you go.
Transforms Your Life and the World. And I love
Yes.
this concept that you use, that a healthy media diet, because this is really about consumption. And when we talk about a healthy diet and the way we consume food in our life for our health, it really is the same concept for media. So tell us about a
Yes.
little bit about your TED Talk, and really, where did the inspiration come from, and what was the impact you were trying to make with this?
Well, I think the most important thing is that I hoped to have inspired the audience and the people that watch my TED talk to become more aware of the huge impact, what we consume on social and news media, the huge impact that it has on us. I mean, I talk about why there's so much negativity out there. I already mentioned that briefly. It is the algorithms, it is our brain that is wired to be triggered by it. Um, And I ask during the TED Talk. I always do this. I ask, who consumes a lot of news and social media? All hands go up. And then I ask, and who feels a little bit better about himself? Maybe wants to do something good for the world, is inspired to do something positive. And then basically 99% of the hands go down. So it's basically like we're slowly poisoning ourselves, and we need to become aware of this. So we need to become aware of the importance that our media diet has on us, just like our food diet has on us. I mean, we become what we eat, we become what we read, and we also become our social feed. And we better make it a healthy one because it has a huge influence on us. And that's also what I talk about in my TED talk. It's why is it really damaging that we see so much negativity out there? That is because what media and social media tends to basically tries to force us to watch and consume. That's often very, very negative. That makes not just us, that makes us think, maybe we think that it's a mirror of what's happening, but it's not. It is very focused on this negativity, and it is actually amplifying what is happening in the real world. So it doesn't reflect what's happening in the real world, but it is influencing what is happening in the real world. If we see loads of videos and news stories where you completely lose faith in humanity, you will actually start losing faith in humanity, and you will stop trying to be, contribute in a positive way, because what's the use of it anyway? There's no use. Well, actually, there is use, and there is so much good out there that doesn't get covered, but happens every day. And that's what we uncover. So we uncover all the goodness that happens every day. And we don't call it good news, by the way. It's more about good stories. But it's incredibly important because what media puts out in the world, it's not just a mirror. It is actually amplifying what's happening out there, and that's what I do with Bright Vibes. We put out more positivity, and by doing so, we create more positivity. It's that simple. Garbage in, garbage out, positivity in, positivity out.
I love that. We're really not only programming our brains, but our view of the world through all of what
Exactly.
we consume. It's
Yeah.
interesting because, a lot of people say to me, and because of obviously the work I do at 365 Give, and I want everybody to know that Bright Vibes Media is a remarkable supporter of 365 Give. They're actually
Of
our
course.
media partners. When you go onto our website, you will see we actually use their videos as teaching tools for 365 Give in schools, with individuals, with our youth leadership groups. Their videos are that good that we can learn so much from the good that's going on in the world and how we can replicate what other people are doing. They'll literally inspire you, as they have me as well, and our audience that goes along with it. But Michael, I want to go back to algorithms, and I want to tie
Mm-hmm.
this a little bit into AI. And I know AI
Mm-hmm.
is not your expertise by any means, but we all have to understand something. Is we hear in the world right now, AI is the big, conversation going on. But this
Mm-hmm.
device that we've all been holding for a lot of years now in our hand, this is all program tech. This is all AI technology as it goes. It's been around for a long time. Now that's being amplified. But really want to tie into this algorithm and AI technology and how we can use it as a tool for our life
Mm-hmm.
versus how everyone is saying, AI is going to destroy the world. This is that amplified negativity news that you were talking about again. How can we
Yeah.
actually look at using AI and creating a new algorithm for our lives, that we're creating that algorithm of
Mm-hmm.
positivity? How do we change our feed? People always say to me,
Yeah.
well, when you go into Instagram, there's so much negativity. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't see any like I
No.
honestly, people will laugh. I see no negativity on my
No.
Instagram feed because I realized I programmed my algorithm based on what I watch, what
Exactly.
I like, etc.
Yeah.
So talk to
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
algorithm actually correlates to our lives.
Yeah. Well, I think you're already giving some really great hands-on advice on how to influence this algorithm, this AI algorithm that news and social media platforms use. Well, it starts really by searching and asking around, ask friends, ask you, ask me. what inspiring, positive media outlets are out there that are on social media, and actively start following them. That's my first advice. So basically, take agency. Don't just accept and swallow what's on the standard menu of social media, but actually, pick and choose. Um, Become aware that you can make decisions there as well, just like you did. So ask for inspiring content to follow. Then engage with those.
Mm.
Engage with Bright Vibes, engage with 365 Give and Upworthy and all these other platforms, Positive News, and start engaging with them. If you like what them, if you love what they do, like it, and you will get more of it because it will serve you what they think you will actually like. And if you show what you like rather than wait till they serve you something, they will give you more of what it is that you like. So that's number two, and interact with those accounts. I think the third one is incredibly important. That is to become aware as a consumer. Um, that there start consuming. I would say try to start consuming less. Start with less.
Mm.
There are amazing tools to use, and they might be AI powered. I just heard from Harry, who just he's a wonderful young man, very very smart, and he told me about an app which is called One Sec, and you can install that on your smartphone, and you can program it. You can program it so every time that you might be bored and you want to open up WhatsApp, for example, let's say Instagram.
Yeah.
Every time that you open Instagram, it will either whatever it is that your preference is, you can program it. It might show you a screen and it says, now breathe in until the screen is filled with blue, and then green, and breathe out. And then it asks you, do you still want me to open Instagram?
Oh, I
You know?
love that. That's so
And
good.
he just showed me his screen, and it stopped him from opening Instagram 1,374 times,
Oh,
and it saved
that's
him two and a
incredible.
half days. So, I mean,
2.5
again,
days of your life
two,
that we
two and a half
waste
days
on
of his
social
life. Yeah.
media. Isn't
Yes.
that
Yeah.
incredible?
Yeah. So
Absolutely
that's
amazing.
about 50 whatever hours. I don't know. I'm not very good at
Absolutely.
math,
Yeah, yeah.
but a
No,
lot of hours.
absolutely incredible.
So, we shouldn't, in that sense, be that afraid of technology. We should take agency.
Right.
Be
How do
smart
we
about it
program it for
and
our
use
life,
it.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Love
So
that.
that's one. I think what's also really important is, and I know that of course there are a lot of people that just consume content on social platforms, but I would like to challenge people again to start creating content again, sharing content, but then share your positive experiences
Mhm.
and make sure that there's more positivity out there. It's very likely that the algorithms will show it to your friends, and actually you can tag your friends, send it to your friends, make sure that you get engagement around the positive content that you put out. And by putting out more positivity, you will get more positivity back, and you're also giving basically to the community, and you're teaching, as they talk about this a lot, you teach AI as well, that there's a lot of goodness out there as well, that it's not just carjackings and God knows what else.
I love
um
that you said that. I think that's an important part that people need to
mhm,
realize is, we hear so much in the news that AI is going to take over the world. It's smarter than we are. One day they're going to be running us, all of those things. But I think sometimes people forget is that AI is programmed by humans. All the
yes.
information that AI has been programmed and created
Mhm.
by human
Yeah.
beings over time.
Absolutely.
It's just now putting it all in one spot. So let's go back to that point that you made, because this is the opportunity that I want everybody to realize they have. You said something very important. We have the opportunity to program AI.
Yes.
So
Yes.
go back and touch on that one more time, that, you know, help everybody understand this. When let's say we're using Chat GPT, we're using Instagram, we're using Facebook, any of those that are powered by AI. They're not
Yes.
powered all by people. They're now powered by AI.
Yes.
How is our influence by what we consume, or
Uh,
what we ask Chat GPT, or what we create now? Let's use Canva as an example. powered by AI technology. How
Yes.
is all of this now actually programming AI? Can you explain
Well,
that to people so they understand it a bit better?
well, like you said, fortunately, thank you for saying that I'm not an AI expert. But I mean, I use AI, and we use it in our work as well, in order to be able to create more authentic inspiration. So we call AI, for me, it stands for authentic inspiration. Of course,
Oh,
you mean
I
artificial
love that.
intelligence,
I love that.
but we use artificial intelligence in order to get more authentic inspiration out.
Brilliant.
So again, we use it. And the interesting thing is when you use, for example, ChatGPT, but the same goes for Bard and all the other
All of
tools
them.
out there, they actually, they say, we're learning from what you're doing. They actually tell you. So, I mean, I think in that sense, it is pretty obvious. If we're rude, if we, ask mean questions on how to manipulate and blah blah blah, well, then the AI thinks, well, that's what human wants, what human people, what humanity is asking for. But we are also, we're craving for love and more happiness, and how to share more kindness and how to give, and by telling basically by yeah by sharing those experiences and asking those type of questions, it learns just as much. So yeah, like
But
I
this
said,
is
garbage
really
in,
our
garbage out.
opportunity, isn't it? Like
It
it's
is, it
really an
is,
opportunity
it
for us
is.
to make an impact. I call the show the human impact theory because I think we have the ability to make an
Mhm.
impact choice
Yes.
by choice by choice by choice.
Mhm.
And the what you said, literally, you have a choice what you post on social, you have a
Yes.
choice what you share on social, you have a choice on what you share with your friends in the background, even your DMs count. And listen, let's be serious. We know our phone is listening to this conversation right now.
Most
So
likely,
I
yeah.
love that you and I are making an impact because now my phone's going to pick this up and it's going to show me more of that goodness today, which I already know. So I
Yes.
love that as well. So thank you. I really wanted to drive that point home with people because
Mhm.
we keep hearing this in the news all the time, that it can control us. And we have to remember we do have
Yes.
that power. We do have that
We do, but it's
control.
hard. Let's say,
It is absolutely
it's not like everything is hunky dory or all that. I mean, it's really hard. I mean, these algorithms, they know how to make us want to come back for more and more and more with all the notifications and the polarization, the anger, how to provoke emotions, the negative emotions and all that. So it isn't easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not impossible.
right. So this
It
becomes a consciousness then, isn't it? It's an
exactly.
awareness, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's about taking control. It's about taking agency. And that goes not just for what you consume on social media, but for your life, right? I mean, yeah, that's
Because
basically, I would say, there's another, really, it depends, of course, on the platform. But it is very practical, but there's also when you get these suggestions, because they always try to, push more and more and more content. You can also, for example, on LinkedIn, and I know on Meta, on Facebook, and I don't know about Instagram and TikTok and all that, but you can also see more of this or see less.
that's right. Yeah, you can do
Yeah,
that with Instagram. Yeah,
you
absolutely.
can actually, so with Instagram as well. And
Yeah,
so with Meta, you can do this. You can do it on LinkedIn, and
perfect.
that way you can basically block a certain type of content. Again, do it. And I don't think that in that sense that we should be afraid of entering into a filter bubble, because if you're interested in something else, you can go and look it up. And very importantly, I think going offline and meeting people in real life, where also people from all sorts, so of all walks of life, basically come together. Go to those places rather than swiping and getting upset about what people are
Whatever everybody else
shouting
is doing in
on
the
social
world.
media. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's one more, and that's specifically, yeah, I do have to say this. I mean, I'm not political or anything. Well, of course, I am political, but not in my work. Um, but there's one platform, X. Whether you like it or not, I mean, Elon Musk has so much influence over what is being shown on X. If you can't stop the stream of negativity, if it bothers you, then just leave the platform. I mean, we can live without it, right? I mean, there's still
We
so
can
many
live
other.
without it. We've lived without all of this for, you and I
Sure.
grew up in a generation where
Of
we did
course.
okay. We've done okay without having social for three
Exactly.
quarters of our lives, right? We
Exactly.
did
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm also, let's say that's maybe this is a hopeful note. Also, is that I think, this technology, these smartphones, and basically how now technology basically how we are serving technology rather than technology serving us. There's I mean, we're learning, and things go so incredibly fast in terms of technology. But in the Netherlands, for example, at now primary schools and at college, it is forbidden to have your smartphone in school, in class, I have
In
to say,
class,
in
yeah.
class, and in some schools now also during the break you cannot use it, and
Yeah.
they're doing all sorts of research. And do you know what the kids say in the beginning? They're really protesting. They're like, "Oh my God, no, I don't want to do this," and now they're really happy. They're really happy because they make IRL contact, in real life, and they absolutely love it. They've been craving for it. So in that sense, I also feel like, we can still, in that sense as well, turn the tide. We're learning. I think it was in Australia yesterday that they announced that they might want to, and I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but they are having a debate about basically forbidding access to social media if you're younger than 16 years old.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
I,
interesting.
I
I
have
think
three of that age, so
I mean, I
I
think
think
it's
it's a
I,
great idea.
it's a great idea. It's great to think about it. I also have to say, when it comes to young people, I think they learn from us,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I think that we are definitely not always giving the right example. So we should again consider our own behavior as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you and I are good examples that we have set the course for our own families. And my kids certainly know this. I just started a personal Instagram account like yesterday for the first time, because for
Yeah,
me, it's always been just through the organization. All I wanted to do was put out positivity like
yeah,
you have with
yeah,
Bright
yeah,
Vibes.
yeah.
Same with 365 Give. And that's what my kids
Hey,
know of me. They only know
exactly.
that that's how I post, is via 365 Give, and they've seen that example growing up. And so I see, at least from them, that nobody is, when I say abusing, the content that
Hmm.
they put up
Yeah,
is positive and healthy, and that we
yeah.
can at least monitor and hold on to. And listen, Canada's going the same way, Mikhail. They just put
Well,
in that ban into place with our schools as well for
right.
kids, is that they're
Yeah.
no longer allowed to have their phones on in the classroom at the elementary school level from when they land on the playground till 45 minutes after school's done. Even on the
Wonderful.
playground, there is
Oh,
no
that's great.
cell service used. Yeah,
So I mean, we're learning, right? I mean, we can
we're
be
getting there.
stupid, and
We
but
didn't
we
know,
shouldn't.
right?
It's not fatal. It's not fatal yet.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's
yeah,
helping us become aware,
and
right? There's a
yeah,
reason it's all coming
yeah.
around.
And that's just another positive story I wanted to share with you very
Please.
briefly, is that I went to film a few weeks ago at the Offline Club, which they've been initiated here in Amsterdam. It started in
I
Amsterdam, and
saw
now we're
those.
seeing them
Yeah.
in cities everywhere in the Netherlands, and they're now expanding. They've expanded to London and many different cities, and I'm sure they're going to be huge. And they organize meetups, where the first thing that you do is that you hand in your phone. Your phone goes into a phone hotel, and they ask you, please bring something to do. Bring a journal. You can bring a notebook. You can journal, or you can draw, or you can read a book, or whatever. But we come together as people. We hand in our phones. We're a community. We might not know each other, but we have something in common. And we're looking more connection with ourselves and with other people who are like-minded, and we're also feeling, this addiction, and that's not good. And I've seen amazing things happening. And it's a great way for people to meet, because they first have, for 1 hour, they just read or whatever it is that they do with, just themselves. But even nowadays, seeing people just knitting and journaling and reading, and seeing them all together, you still feel the energy. You feel the energy. It's
Absolutely.
different from doing it at
No
home,
more
right?
swiping, right? No more
Yeah,
swiping.
but
You're
and
actually
being
meeting people in person.
yeah, but even if you're just reading and the person next to you is reading as well, it's like it's sort of almost like magical. And
Absolutely.
the people there, they're in their 20s, early 30s, and they love it. And after 1 hour, they start mingling, and then they start talking, and you have
And you see them
people have,
again and again, right? Each week. It's like
it's a
going to that favorite bar, right? Where everybody knows your name. and nobody's got a
Exactly, where
phone,
everybody knows your
right?
name, and they know,
Right?
and they know you don't have your headsets on.
Right,
You're actually open
exactly.
to have
And
a
your head's not
conversation. And
down. And I love it.
yes,
Yeah.
so
Not everybody's
again,
going to know that reference of, everybody knows
oh,
your
sorry,
name,
no,
but
we're
that's
no,
from,
they, I
we're
know.
so
Oh my
old.
God, yeah, okay,
That was from an
well,
old TV show called Cheers, for those of you that don't know, where you went to a bar and everybody knew your name there, but it was like going home, right? Because
yeah,
everybody knew who you were. Nobody had their phone sitting at a bar having a drink, looking at their phone. They were actually engaging in conversation with each other. They made connections. They made
yeah.
remarkable friendships. And that's what, we know life to be like, us old people.
Isn't it like really hopeful that this is like really
Right.
exploding now?
They're choosing it.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's hopeful.
I
Yeah,
love
I
that.
think it
Okay.
is. Yeah,
So
okay,
we got a couple of things. I want to make sure
yeah,
we're really
eh,
clear on
yeah.
why we came today. Now, first of all, we've already talked about your TED Talk, how a
Mhm.
healthy media diet transforms your life. We're going to put that in the link below down here so people can click right into it, and they can watch that from here as well. I highly recommend you go and you learn from Mikkel. He's a remarkable human being. And you're also going to find bright vibes as well in our link below this talk today, or our conversation today. Let's review really quickly. I want 5 easy, practical steps people can start taking action today. At the beginning of our conversation, you said, hey, we want to make sure it's not just about you consuming and watching this today. It's not just about people listening to this conversation or
Yeah,
this podcast. However, you're going to consume. We want you to go out and take action in your own life today to start creating. Like, how exciting is that you get to create the algorithm for your own life, an algorithm of happiness, of positivity, of love, all the things
yeah,
Mikkel and I,
yeah. I,
stand for. Give me those
I
5
would
tips
say
today, Mikkel.
no, but the first thing to do as well, I think, when you meet with your friends, talk about this. Have a
Right,
talk about this. I think that's such a
right.
good idea. And then, yes, okay, after half an hour, you can, take out your phone, pick up your phone, and start following at least 3, publishers or what pages or accounts that make you feel better. That
Right.
your friends,
Yes.
that makes your
You can
friends
just
feel better.
recognize it, right? It
Go
just
for
makes
it.
you happy when you look at it, whatever it is for
Exactly.
you.
So
Yeah,
that's number one.
perfect.
Number two, when you are alone again and you have 15 minutes, start engaging with those accounts. So you see
Yeah,
the content,
perfect.
start
Yeah,
engaging.
yeah.
Then, yeah, if you're up for it, start sharing your positive, whatever positive encounters you might have had or thoughts or whatever. Spread more positivity on social yourself. Block
Number 3.
or unfollow the pages that you don't like.
Yes.
Maybe leave 1 or 2 platforms that are, if you try to influence the algorithm and you've tried 3 or 4 times and it doesn't work, then just leave the platform, just let them be. And set time limits. I think if
Yeah.
you if you spend less time on it, if you go to, and you can use apps like OneSec, for
I love
example.
that. 1 sec. I'm going to go look that one up today. That's
Yes,
brilliant.
it's an amazing app. Or you can just set time limits or whatever it is. If you spend less time on it, the time that you do spend on it, you want it to be worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
If you go like, I'm just bored, I don't know what to do, and I want to kill 4 hours, well, then you will take whatever it is that they serve you. But if you go like, no, this is, I enjoy now having some me time, or I want to get some inspiration, well, then go for it for an hour. But then that's it. So in that hour, go for quality over quantity, basically.
Love
So
it.
those are my tips.
Perfect. You have
And
just set our life today for positivity and happiness and love. And I appreciate you taking the time to show people you have more experience in this world than anybody that I know. And it's remarkable. You've given such a gift to the world by all of the work that you do. I
no,
can't highly
it's a,
recommend everybody going follow Bright Vibes, put it as part of your algorithm. You're going to love the stories that come out of there. You are going to see hope for this world like you've never
yeah.
seen before. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
It's
welcome.
I'm just incredibly happy and thankful that I can do this, man. I've been able to make a living out of it. I mean, wow,
I
isn't that
know.
sometimes I know it's amazing. But
Well, Mikhail,
yeah,
thank you so much for coming to the Human Impact Theory today. I know the lives that you're going to impact just by us taking these steps starting today. So let's not wait. Go look at your phone today. Your algorithm is what shows up for you. So the minute you open Instagram or any other social account, just look at your feed. What's showing up? That's going to
exactly.
tell you how you're programming literally your life and the way that you view and perceive the world around us. And we're just asking you, go do it a little differently today. So, Mikhail, thank you, my friend. I love you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being with us today. And we
Well,
can't wait to share this with everybody. You'll see it here. You can also go into 365 Give. We're going to be doing a detailed blog post about this as well, so that you will be able to see those steps, start following these steps, and starting to follow Mikhail and Bright Vibes. So, thank you, my
well,
friend. Have a
thank you
beautiful day
so
on
much.
purpose.
It's been my absolute pleasure, and of course, especially also want to thank all your listeners and followers
Thank you.
for taking the time, and yeah, sending you all loads of bright vibes.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye bye.